Namaste everyone, and welcome to High Energy Fusion Yoga on the Go. Today's class is a mini session designed to help you stretch out your hips. Now, we carry a lot of tension in our hips. A lot of us spend time at the office or driving or commuting. So this class is really an express version of what you would find in our normal hour-and-a-half series, and I hope you enjoy it. So start by sitting on a block if you like. If you have two blocks, keep them near you toward the front of your mat. And bring your hands, palms down on your knees. Close your eyes, roll your shoulders back and down, and just begin to come to your breath. Notice the qualities of your inhales and exhales. And then as you turn within, just take a moment to scan from the crown of your head, down your shoulders, upper, middle, lower back, through your hips, maybe pausing, giving the hips a little bit more of a notice since we're going to be working on them today. And then just scan right down through the toes, noticing any parts of your body that feel tight, and also noticing any parts that feel really good. And just center yourself and prepare to practice. And slowly open your eyes, coming back into the room, and let's begin. So if you're sitting up on a block, come on off of it, and extend your legs out to the sides and lean back on your hands, and just windshield wiper your legs out to the sides a couple of times. Just getting some movement in through the upper thigh and noticing how your hips are moving and feeling today. And pause there and take your right ankle to your left knee and then lean back on your hands and slide your left knee in, sitting up as tall as you comfortably can. It's early in class. And flex the top foot, this right foot, beginning to rock back and forth from side to side, just bringing some gentle, loving movement to your hips. Right into the muscles that make up your outer hip. Slowly straighten your left leg. Right leg extends out, left ankle to right knee. Lean back and pull your right knee in. Just again, giving yourself some gentle and loving movement, especially if your hips are stiff, and making sure this top foot is flexed, activating the muscles of your shin. And you're keeping your kneecap nice and aligned. And straighten out that right leg. Bring your soles of your feet together for a very easy bound angle pose. Just noticing right here where your hips are today, how close they are to the ground. If I turn and face the camera, you can see that my left is slightly higher than my right. Just press the soles of the feet together, taking your thumbs to your inner arches. Lean forward, keeping the back straight. Just give yourself a gentle lean. Thinking about lifting the chest more than anything. Bring some life to the inner thigh, inner hip. Slowly coming out of that. And if you're facing the front of your mat, cross your ankles and then make your way onto all fours, bringing your hands directly underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. Warming up the hips a little bit more, take your right knee out to the side and begin to make circles, gentle circles toward the top of your mat, down and around. Last one, down and around. And reverse direction toward the back of the mat, making a hip circle, keeping the knees bent, and placing the knee down. Take your other knee out to the side, the left, and make circles toward the top of the mat. Nice and easy, bringing a little movement and love to those hips. Reverse direction, 1, 2, and 3. Left knee down to the floor, Begin to walk the knees back, pressing into the hands, tucking the toes, lifting the hips, coming into downward facing dog. Hips make the highest point of this posture that looks like an upside down letter V. And as you can see, out of habit, I just begin to pedal out my feet, taking some movement in my downward facing dog to start off. Pressing your chest toward your thighs. Rolling the inner arms forward, pressing all 10 fingers down into the mat. Bending both knees here, taking a skiing dog, lowering both heels to one side, knees go toward the other side. Coming back to center, bending both knees to the other side of the mat, lowering both heels to the other side of the mat. And pausing in the middle, lowering your knees down to the floor, gently taking a child's pose, resting your forehead down. Arms are extended. And then drawing yourself forward onto the mat into a baby cobra, lowering your middle rib cage down between your thumbs, squeezing your elbows back around your ribs, pressing into your hands, lifting the chest and sternum an inch or two off the floor. And then pressing your hips back to your heels, tucking your toes, fixing your shirt, and lifting up to downward facing dog. Taking 3-point dog, right leg straight up and back, toes down toward the floor, and then point the toes toward the ceiling. Bend your right knee, open up your hip. Right knee is super high, right foot goes toward the left side of the mat, but everything is super stable in your upper body. Trying not to lean too much to one side. Straighten your right leg, right foot steps halfway up the mat. Again, if you have blocks and need them, place them underneath your hands as you straighten your right leg, drawing the right hip back, left hip forward, taking an easy and early pyramid pose, just stretching out the backs of the legs, hamstrings, remembering that everything is connected. And so if you want to stretch the hips, you have to look at the body more holistically. And doing just an hour of hip stretches might not be the best thing. Bending your right knee, sliding your hands forward, come right back into downward facing dog, and repeat this process on the other side. Left leg straight up and back, 3-point dog. Then bend, point the toes, bend the left knee, opening up the hip, but keeping stability in your shoulders, not sagging into the right shoulder. Squaring the shoulders off toward the top of the mat, just like you had them before. And then straightening the left leg. Stepping your left foot forward halfway up the mat, sliding your hands back in line with your left toes. Left hip pulls back, right hip draws forward. Pausing for a moment, appreciating the differences between both sides. Back heel can stay lifted if flexibility is impeding you, otherwise keep it down. Bend the left knee, slide your hands forward and step back, downward facing dog. Very slowly begin to walk to the top of your mat. I like to crisscross my feet, call it model walking as I come to the top of the mat. And when you get to your hands or toward your hands, hang over your legs in a ragdoll position. Gently sway from side to side, nodding your head yes, shaking your head no. And then releasing the hands down to the floor, putting a bend in your knees, tucking the tailbone under and rounding up to stand bone by bone by bone. Head is the last thing to come up. Now, just like any good warm-up, we start with a dynamic series, a little bit of flow, a heat to build into our hip stretches. Reach your arms forward, up and back, palms connect overhead. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees, right leg goes straight back, low lunge. Left arm reaches up toward the ceiling, twist, open up the chest. As you exhale, left hand finds the floor, step back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath here. And as you exhale, gently lower onto your knees, child's pose. Inhale, draw your body forward onto the mat, lower your middle chest down between your thumbs, squeeze your elbows toward one another, pressing into your hands, gently lift the chest, baby cobra. And as you exhale, hips to heels, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your left leg straight up and back, 3-point dog. And as you exhale, draw your knee into your chest, step your left foot down between your hands, right knee gently lowers to the floor. Untuck your back toes, reach your arms forward, up and back, crescent pose, inhale. And as you exhale, touch down to the floor, tuck your back toes under, step up, forward fold. Inhale, look up, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead, palms connect. Exhale, forward fold, left side. Inhale, look up, flat back. Exhale, bend your knees, fingertips down, left leg goes straight back, low lunge. Inhale, right arm up, twist, open up. Exhale, right hand finds the floor. And inhale, back into downward facing dog. Exhale, let it out your mouth right here. Inhale, pull forward into plank, top of a push-up. Exhale, bend your elbows straight back, lower halfway. Inhale, pull forward, rolling over your toes, upward facing dog. Exhale, lift the hips, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg straight up and back. Exhale, knee pulls into your chest, step your right foot down between your hands, left knee lowers. Untuck the back toes, reach your arms forward, up and back, crescent pose, inhale. Exhale, both hands find the floor. Tuck the back toes under, step up, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and up, arms connect. As you exhale, forward fold all the way down. Inhale, look up, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees. Get your hands flat on the floor. Let's have a little fun. Transfer your weight forward into your hands. And as you leap back, bend your elbows in chaturanga. Inhale, pull forward, upward facing dog. Exhale, press it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, take your right leg straight up and back. As you exhale, step your right foot to the pinky side of your right hand. Pop up onto fingertips, sink your hips, lift your chest like up dog. Breathe in here. And as you exhale, lift back up into 3-point dog. Right foot finds the floor. Inhale, left leg lifts. And as you exhale, left foot steps to the pinky side of your left hand, coming into an early high lizard. Hips sink, chest lifts. And as you exhale, extend the left leg straight up and back and lower the left foot down to the ground. Inhale, look up at your hands. Bend your knees. Float your feet to your hands. You could have just walked them there too, 100% okay. Separate your feet, mat width distance apart. Inhale here. And as you exhale, heels come toward one another, toes point out, come into a yogic squat, Malasana. Inhale, straighten the legs. As you exhale, heels come in, sink down. Inhale, straighten the legs. Last one, heels come in, toes out, sink down just as far as you can go. And straighten your arms, straighten your legs. Inhale, look up, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, hands to prayer, heart center. Bring your feet back to inner hip width distance apart. Sweep your arms forward and up. And as you exhale, sit into chair pose, Utkatasana. Reach forward like you need a hug from someone, and you might in chair pose. It's one of those poses that you might need a hug. Take your right ankle, cross it to your left knee. Bring your forearms onto your right shin. Sink your way back into your left heel as you bend a little deeper into that left knee. Inhale, straighten, uncross. Right foot comes down, left side. Exhale, sit down into Utkatasana. Take your left ankle to your right knee, reaching forward, sinking your way back into your rear heel. Then take your forearms down to your left shin. Just sink that weight back a little deeper. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up, halfway lift. Exhale, again, having some fun. Walking back, floating back, handstanding back. I'm gonna do a little floaty back over the mat. Bend the elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg straight up and back. Exhale, pull your right knee into your chest. Step your right foot down. Grab and drag that foot if you have to. Back heel lowers down. Rise up, warrior one. Arms by your ears, palms face one another. Feet are wide north to west, so you can square shoulders and hips off toward the front of the room. Inhale, arch back. Exhale, touch down. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, pull forward, upward facing dog. Exhale, step it back, downward facing dog. Left leg up and back. Exhale, pull your knee into your chest. Step your left foot down between your hands. Grab and drag if you have to. Back heel lowers. Reach your arms forward and up. Biceps by your ears. Palms face one another. Back heel is down. Squaring shoulders and hips off toward the front of the room. Widen your feet out to the sides if you have to. Inhale, arch back. Exhale, touch down. Inhale, downward facing dog. Time for a little HEFY style yoga. Taking your feet to the right side of your mat. Step in, left leg up for half cartwheels. Inhale, look up at your hands. Exhale, scissor kick the legs. Land on the left side of your mat, right leg in the air. Inhale, look at your hands. Exhale, scissor kick, land on the other side. Inhale, look at your hands. Exhale, scissor kick. One more. Inhale, look at your hands. Exhale. Up at your hands, bending your knees, float your feet to your hands. Inhale, look up, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, sit into chair pose. This time, taking your left ankle to your right knee, taking your hands at prayer at heart center, twisting, hooking your left elbow to the arch of your left foot, and then working the hands to prayer at heart center as well as you can. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, chair. Right ankle to left knee, hands to prayer at heart center, twist, hooking the right elbow to the left thigh. Hands to prayer at heart center, twisting right here. Getting a little extra stretch. And straightening the left leg, forward fold. Inhale, look up, flat back, bend your knees, walk your way back into downward facing dog. Inhale, take your right leg straight up and back. Exhale, take your right foot up between your hands. Inhale, take your arms up overhead and hold here for high lunge. Working here the hip flexor stretch in high lunge, lifting the back heel, straightening the back leg, tucking the tailbone under slightly, lengthening the tailbone down toward the floor. Bring your hands to prayer at heart center, twist, hook your left elbow to the outer right thigh. Press the hands toward heart center, roll your right shoulder back. And if here you're feeling like a burning in this outer hip, that's because your glute medius is really working hard to stabilize you. So stretching and stability go hand in hand. Strengthening these muscles will make your hip more stable and will lessen your hip pain. Both hands release down to the floor. Back knee lowers down. Take both hands to the inside of the right foot. Heel toe the right foot toward the right side of your mat. Retuck the back toes, lift the back knee for a high lizard. Again, sinking the hips, lifting the chest. And then if you like, you can lower the back knee down. If you'd like to lower onto forearms to intensify the stretch, just take your toes out in the same direction as your right kneecap. Keep looking up. Avoid rounding in the back if you can. And from here, straightening your arms, bending in your left foot, taking your right hand back, pulling the left foot in toward the left hip for the thigh stretch. You can even reach your hips back for your heel and then pull them all together forward. And if you'd like, option of course, to lower onto your left forearm. Now you can stay right here or do any variation of lizard that you like. But if you'd like to try an arm balance, release the foot, straighten your arms, retuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. Take your right shoulder underneath your right thigh. Flick your right foot back, bend the elbows, lean forward, lift the back leg for flying lizard. Step it down, and back into down dog you go. Take your left leg straight up and back, left side. Left knee pulls into your chest, left foot steps down between your hands. Reach your arms forward and up for high lunge. Again, settling into your high lunge, straightening the back leg as much as you can, and then tucking the tailbone under, lengthening your tailbone down toward the floor as you bend into the front knee. Take your hands to prayer at heart center. Twist, hooking the right elbow to the outer left thigh, working not just the stretch by pressing the hands toward heart center, rolling the left shoulder back, also stabilizing the outer left hip, building strength, stamina, and release your hands down. Back knee lowers to the floor, both hands come to the inside of the front foot, heel toe the left foot toward the left edge of the mat. Then retuck the back toes, lift the back knee for high lizard. Hips sink, chest lifts. And then option to lower the back knee down. Maybe come onto forearms here. Don't forget to breathe, even in the hard poses. Lift the chest. Turning the toes out in the same direction that the kneecap goes, very important. Straightening your arms, bending the right knee, pulling the right foot in, reaching the left hand back for the pinky toe side of that right foot. Hips come back, connect hips to heel, and then maybe pull yourself forward, roll the left shoulder back, or lower onto your forearm. If you're at home and you can't grab that foot, just get a towel and reach back for that foot. It'll help you pull it in. Straightening the leg. Going and maintaining whatever stretch you like, but if you'd like to try flying lizard, working the left shoulder underneath, lifting the back knee up, left hand plants down, lean, flick, bend the elbows. Then the back leg comes up. It's all physics. Step it back and downward facing dog. Downhill from here, everyone. Coming into a favorite outer hip stretch, pigeon prep. Right leg straight up and back. Right knee pulls forward behind your right wrist. Left leg slides back. Now, traditionally, the right knee is toward the right edge of the mat and the right foot is toward the left edge of the mat. But if that hurts you or you're not feeling stretch in this outer right hip, take the knee more between your hands and lean forward and see if you can maybe feel the stretch without any knee pain. If that's not working for you, it's a great time to use one of these handy dandy blocks. Pop it underneath your hip. It might alleviate some of the hip pain you're feeling, or the knee pain that you're feeling in your knee joint. Wherever you are, once you feel sensation or stretch, and that might even come from you leaning slightly on that hip, which is fine, as long as there's no pain, fold over your front shin. Take a couple of breaths here and just melt down as much as you can into the floor. The less tension you have in your upper body, the more you're actually using gravity and the weight of your torso to help you open this right hip. And walk your hands back. Tuck the back toes under. Lift up, downward facing dog. Give yourself a moment. That can be a very intense stretch. Wiggle out the knees, and then take the left leg straight up and back. Left knee pulls forward behind your left wrist. And now it's time to do it all again, but both sides are so different. So really tune in and pay attention to how this knee is feeling. and find the correct position for it. So you can either have it left knee toward the left edge, left foot toward the right edge, sliding the right leg back, or you can pull the knee forward between your hands, which is also a good option. Or you can lean onto that hip and walk that foot forward. Or you can take a block underneath your hip. The truth of the matter is that no sets of hips are created equal. So as long as you're feeling stretch and you're not feeling pain in the knee joint, you're doing this stretch correctly. And wherever you are, fold over your front shin. And walk yourself back up. Lean onto your left hip and reach your right foot around. Coming into bound angle part 2. So remember, the second thing that we did today was to bring the soles of the feet together and just check how the hips are feeling. Well, I invite you to do it again and now really appreciate the openness you've created in your hips and the movement of freedom. So take your thumbs to your inner arches, draw yourself forward, leaning forward, working to and aiming to bring your chest toward your arches. And if you find that you are very rounded, you can prop your hips up slightly on a block or a blanket, and that will help flatten out your lower back and take the stretch into where you want to feel it, which is in the inner thighs, not the lower back. So, pick your battles with yoga poses. Props sometimes direct your body into the correct position. And if you're on a block, you can stay there. I'm coming off for this next variation. Take your feet further forward in a wide diamond shape for star pose, Tadasana. Take your arms up overhead, and as you exhale, reach for your toes. Clasp your hands over them. You can release the index finger if you like. Bend your elbows out to the side, and maybe your elbows just hit the tops of your shins. And maybe they come in front of your shins, or maybe you can have them relax onto the floor. Maybe your forehead can rest into your arches, or maybe take a block and rest your forehead on that. Just melt down into the posture. And slowly come up. Time for one of my favorite silly poses. Silly because you can't be too serious while doing this. Lean back on your forearms. Your left one to be exact. Pull your right knee in. Take your right hand over the top of your right foot, reaching for the pinky toe side. Press into your right hand, lengthening your right leg, coming up off your left elbow. And as you draw the right knee back, you come into almost like a sunbathing happy baby, half happy baby pose with the sole of the foot toward the ceiling. And reach forward. And exhale, draw the knee back. Some yogis can go into a pose called Yogi Dandasana from here. We will not be exploring that one in a half-hour class, but maybe for my next 1-hour class. And press it back out. Now from here, take your left hand over the top of your right foot. Take your right leg over onto your right shoulder. Plant your right hand down. Press your left hand down. So I've really got my right leg working and clamping. Lean it forward and try to pick up your butt. Lean forward so much that maybe you can pick up your heel, coming into elephant trunk. And come all the way down. You can also take your hands up onto blocks and try that if it didn't work out so well for you with your hands down on the floor. There is a such thing as having short arms. This is true. So come onto your right forearm this time. Pull your left knee in. Take your left hand over the top of your left foot. Reach yourself forward, lengthen the leg, and as you exhale, pull the left knee back, sole of the left foot toward the ceiling. 2 more times. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling, really working the left knee down, sole of the left foot toward the ceiling. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and pull in. This time as you come up, take your right hand over the top of your left foot. Take your left leg up and over onto your left shoulder like you're putting on a backpack. Left hand finds the floor. Clamp down on that upper arm. Right hand by your hips. Press down into your hands. Lift the booty first. That's the heavy part. And then maybe lift the top leg up and you'll find a little bit of float down when you've had quite enough of that. How are we feeling? I have very good news. We are about to lie down. Lie down. Extend your arms out to the side. Bend your knees, soles of the feet onto the ground. Bump your hips to the left. Lower your knees to the right, taking a spinal twist. Looking away from your knees. And come back up. Bump your hips to the right. Lower your knees to the left. The microphone is in the way. Come back to center. And pull both knees in. Grab the outside edges of both feet. Reach for the insides of your legs and then draw the knees down past your ribs toward the floor for happy baby. Just enjoy those nice open hips. And then one of my favorite stretches, rock to the right, straighten out your left leg so you make a check mark shape. And come on back, rock to your left, straighten out your right leg. Pull your knees in. Extend your legs long onto the mat. And don't forget the most important posture of all, Shavasana. Lie down. Let your feet roll out to the sides. Take a couple of minutes of deep breathing if you like to fully relax. And let your practice wash over you.